some quick agenda for this catch up, Manik.
Hmm.
Firstly, we recently saw like the developers reporting manager has been changed to your line. So
Yes.
that's one thing. So going forward, all the basic leave requests and everything related to the team will come over to you, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. And second thing, we would share about the general our app progress. That is
Okay.
one thing. And the third one is like we had two action items from the last meeting, right? One is like
Hmm.
you asked about the plan for our team post May release.
Yeah.
So we checked with David regarding that, and he said like post May release, we will have another release in June mid. That would include a few enhancements and also regarding the accessibility checks. Uh,
Hmm.
and post that, he's actually in touch with Gerald about the plans for the second half of the year. So he said
Who's Gerald?
Gerald is his boss, the product manager.
Gerald is David's boss? I
Yes.
thought David was working for Pure. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's in touch with him and he'll get back to us before the mid of May. So we will get to know
Okay.
about the plan then. And about the Apache endpoints, we got them, and we have planned to integrate them in this in the current sprint. So we
Okay.
are working on that. And the last thing would be to check with you for the approval. We have some device testing devices requests from our team. So
Hmm.
few testing devices we are lacking. So that would need your approval and the product owner's approval to further proceed. So I'll email you the list. Please check the existing devices and also the new proposal, and
What's
let
the
us.
what's the procurement process for these devices?
It's like I checked with the IT team here in Chennai and Vijay Erusen, and he said like usually the process they have been following is like they are having some specific code for the Chennai team. So with that
Hmm.
code, he used to procure the devices, the required devices uh,
Okay.
uh, from the financial team. So we will probably check. I mean, go with that line and see if we can procure our required devices.
Okay. Sure. That's fine. Send me the list.
Okay, so over to the team for the general app progress. So Ariel or Maha?
Oh, before we roll into that,
Okay.
guys. Sorry. So, yes. Some of I think about 4 or 5 folks reporting lines have changed into me from who were you reporting to before, Raman?
No, we are
We
reporting
were
to
reporting to, yeah,
Sorry.
Karthik Ramraj in Chennai.
Karthik Ramraj. Yeah. So from him, the reporting lines have changed into me, and I'm very happy to be working with you guys. We've been speaking informally for a while anyway, and so I think overall this is going to be a positive change for all of us.
Yeah.
And welcome. Hopefully, nothing will change in a very short term. In the long term, I want to see. We will talk about specific growth aspirations, specific challenges, individual and team, and we will try to tackle them to make sure that your uh, your presence in Pearson is beneficial to both you and Pearson in immediate runs and in long term as far as your career growths are concerned.
Okay. Sure, Manik.
All right. All right, guys. What do you have on the app?
So the very much immediate plan is, as Kalpana said, first we integrate with API endpoints, and then also we have a plan to integrate with Analytics, Google Tag Manager. So we are working with another team, so they are preparing the GTM configurations and all. So once they
Hmm.
are done, they will provide us with the necessary requirements, and we'll be integrating with it. in our app.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
apart from that, in the last call we said that we were almost completing about all the refactoring and also we are through with it. We completed the scan part, and we were also discussing about you know changing the engine path in the downloaded files. So that was completed. So that is also functional now. Each package will not have an engine separate downloaded with it. It will be a one-time download, and all the files will map to the engine in our app. So that's
Okay.
one major change now. And yeah, and registration also has been completed. So the
Can you do me one favor? In the engine that you have, is that packaged with the app, or do you download it from some service?
we downloaded
We
separately.
yeah, we
Not
downloaded
bundled.
separate.
Download it separately. And can two different packages have two different engines?
Right now, how they are designing the avalanche packages, or everything is based on a single engine. So all
Everything
the
based on a single engine. Okay, let me ask you this. And the content when it comes out, it doesn't have anything to say what engine to use, but whenever you want to play an Evelyn package, you go to the one engine you have.
yes.
How do you get the engine in the first place? Where do you know what? How do you know where to get the engine from?
So they have actually placed the engine in a server, and they've given us the path to download it.
They've given you the path, so every time the application opens, it just downloads and keeps it.
Yeah. For the very first time when the app launches, it'll fetch the engine and store it locally. And going forward, it'll always use those engine.
Okay. And let me ask. Can I ask? Can you show me the URL of the engine? How you have it
Within
in the app?
just a second, Manik.
Elil, shall I screen share?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone?
It is, yes.
Okay. So constants. Yeah, this is the path to download the engine for folder Manik. This one.
URL constants consumer key. Where is this URL constants file?
This one is in our constants. I mean, we have created a folder for this one.
Why is this not? What is that consumer key and secret?
This one is used for the API calls, I suppose.
So isn't this one of those environment things?
Manik, sorry to interrupt. Actually, this was the old key. Actually, we have used this URL constant, but we need to remove that. Actually, we haven't used anything here. All
So
this,
why is so all the other keys here are useless now?
yes, yes, it is useless. Actually, we have changed everything in the environment provider itself.
Okay, so but the engine URL is still here.
Yeah, we'll change that over there itself.
Okay, so what happens if so in your application, did we add a way to switch environment yet?
Yes, we already added Manik. Actually, only the as of now we will be integrating RPG endpoints. So after that, already we have added locally through the to the proof server itself. Already we have
Sorry,
that functionality.
you have the ability to switch. No, from the code base you do. I'm asking you if you have the ability from within the app to switch the environment.
Uh, yes,
Remember, there was a
actually,
time I was showing you multiple click on the screen.
yes. We have
Okay,
implemented, yeah, but not
okay,
that multiple. Just
fair enough. That's okay. I mean, how you switch the environment is a different thing, but the fact that you can switch is what I'm worried about. Okay, so this engine URL, I am hoping that this will be an environment specific thing.
um,
Actually, this one downloads the engine folder whenever we open the application, Manik. I mean, for the first time alone,
yes.
we just
No,
check a condition.
No,
Yes,
that I understand.
yes, Manik. As what you suggested, that is content prod actually, but we need to get link for some other environments. This is for production. This is that is stage. This is actually.
So let me ask you this then. This all the other keys, since you have moved to environment-based properties, can you also open one of the environment files, if you don't
Yeah.
mind?
Okay. Gautam, can you open environment provider?
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay, right. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Your production key is still David Petrella?
No, Manik. Actually, only in this actually only stage is working. Remaining this QA and prod is not working. But actually, in this sprint, we are changing all this into APG endpoints, right? So everything will get disappeared. I'm working on it now.
Okay, so if you go back into your URL constants, so one question for you, since you moved to environment provider at least 2 months ago, yes?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 months. Yes.
1 or 2 months ago,
Yeah.
because I remember we were discussing that somewhere in either January or December.
Yes.
So why do you still have the residue in these files?
Okay, I'll just remove it.
No, I know you will, but I'm asking you, why is that residue still there?
No, actually, what I thought was maybe if other than URLs, what we can able to keep in the constants, so that I just kept these files here.
No, I understand you kept the file. I'm asking, why do you have the residue, consumer key and consumer secret?
Uh,
How
okay, I
do
haven't.
you how do you confirm that
Okay.
another developer on your team is not using consumer key from here, but using from the environment? How is that done?
Yes, Manik, if in case if you see, it was everything done through environment provider only. So here that environment is handled everything there only. We are not.
I know.
Uh,
Okay, I know you are. Let's say that I start working with you guys on the code base.
okay.
And I made that change where I'm actually using URL. I look for consumer key, I see multiple instances, but I'm like, oh, this looks like a URL constant. That's what I should use. And I change it. Now what?
Okay. Okay, understood. It was a mistake with that time itself. I said, "Oh,
Yeah, do not leave residue in the code. If you know that that code is no longer needed, there is no
okay,
reason for you to hold on to it ever.
yeah,
No
okay,
need to
okay,
comment it out, no need to leave it, no need to park it somewhere else. Get rid of it. Otherwise, your code, it's gonna keep like, imagine tomorrow we decide the environment provider is not the right one. We need a third one. What, you're gonna keep the environment provider, the URL constant, and the third entity now?
okay, okay.
Right? You gotta start cleaning up things as you go. Otherwise, this effort of cleanup is never gonna end. Okay, but now let's say back to the engine URL. Now the engine URL, is
Okay.
that environmental property or what is it?
Um, I guess we are not sure actually. We haven't actually discussed about that. Just we got the URL and we just placed it, I guess. Gautam, am I
Does that
right?
does that
Yeah.
engine ever
Yes.
change?
Sorry, Mani.
Does that engine ever change?
Uh,
As of now, I guess it's the same for all environments, and no, it
No,
doesn't
no,
change
not
for.
for all environments. I get it, but does it change in time? That have we changed the fix that engine
mm,
ever?
no,
No,
but no, we
no.
can't assure that because Mani, that as you can see that activity pages, we can, I guess the design packs will be changes. If each and every design changes, I guess we need to update the activity. That is, we need to update the engine package, I guess. Am I correct, earlier?
Yes,
So
mostly.
let so so let's say I get your application today from the store. I
Okay,
launch. I downloaded the engine. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
and now someone fixed the engine on this location. Is there ever a case where my application is refreshing the engine on my local storage?
Um,
No, I guess as of now we haven't handled that functionality, Manik. We
Uh,
get your point.
Sorry, Manik. Already we had discussed regarding it with David. If some other changes in engine folder, what we'll be getting, and this engine folder was handled by Arik. Arik said that there won't be any changes. If there is a changes, we'll update you.
But that doesn't solve the problem. That solves the problem for the next user who downloads the app after the update. It doesn't solve the problem for the existing user.
Okay.
If someone has access to modify like Eric, this guy, if he has access to modify the engine, which means that he can decide to modify at any time, right? So telling you doesn't mean anything because the app is no longer with you; it's with the user. So then, is this URL public URL?
Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
Manik.
Yes, Manik.
So I
Yes,
could just
yes.
copy paste and download it. All right. Here's what I would like you to do. And can you show me the asset that wants to use the engine? Can you show me where in your what is the JSON file of that asset and what is the code base that says, okay, now I'm going to use the engine, so let me go look in the folder.
Uh, I guess actually, Manik, this thing while we are downloading the activities, we'll be redirecting to the web view. From that web view, it is accessible.
So in activity, there is some kind of a path where you append the relative path of the
Exactly.
absolute part of the engine, right?
Yep.
So I'm asking for the data structure of the activity, what
Okay.
property you are using. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, Gautam, the thing in
Yeah,
active.
I'll just explain what happens, and then it'll be better, I guess.
Yeah,
So
no, I see that. URL constant base folder path plus engine.
yeah, this is the thing, Manik. Actually, we just check if the engine folder is there or not, and if it's there, we just redirect to the application, or else we'll download the engine folder and we'll extract it. So this is the application's base path, and we place the engine folder over here. These are the contents inside it, and the activities will be extracted in this place. So what David was saying is like in today's daily. So every time when we had this engine folder, each activity, each lesson was of the size like 2 MB, but then everything has reduced now to 100 KB to 200 KB. So
Hmm.
every time we download a lesson, we are saving nearly 90% of data used as well as the data used in the user's device.
That's fine.
So the
Okay,
download and extraction process are speed up.
that's okay. That's not a problem. If
Yeah.
you go left on your finder to the engine, go to the engine folder.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Yeah, go click on that engine. All right, this is what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Engine wants to be versioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then only we need to change if engine is updated.
Right. No, so because on one device you should be able to keep multiple engines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
If there is
Manik.
an older asset that wants to run with an older engine and there are a new asset that only requires the new engine, then you should be able to run an old new both of them together. So what
Got
I'm going
it,
to
Manik.
ask you to do is following. This engine that you downloaded here, the audios, images, lib, and etc.
Yeah.
We're going to move them one level further down. So under engine, you're going to have a folder called version 0 or version 1.
Okay.
Okay? Version
Okay,
1. It's
Manik.
going to be 1, version 1, don't care. It's called something. Okay.
Okay.
Then that URL that you are using will by default always download to version 1.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, yes, Manik.
To the activity, we will at some point of time down the line add a version, engine version. Yeah.
Okay.
If the engine
Okay.
version is not given, you will assume that it's version 1.
Version one. Initial
If it
version
is
one. Yeah.
given, If it is given, you will then look for the specific version of the engine.
Okay.
If
Okay.
the specific version of the engine is not downloaded, you will then use this URL and append a version number to it, like
Okay,
question mark
Manik.
version equal to V2.
Okay.
Yeah. And
You
then
need
we
to
will
map the
have,
exact version number to the downloaded
yeah,
contents in the
actually,
engine.
actually, if you know what you should do, yeah, so in packets, so go there, if you can unselect the cursor and go after packets here. No, stay with the URL.
Okay.
Copy line number 13 as a
Line
new
number
line.
13. Yeah.
Yeah, copy the line number 13 as a new line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've copied it, Manik. Yeah.
No, paste it. Sorry,
Okay.
paste it there. Yeah, engine URL, instead of engine URL, just label it engine URL 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. After packets, in that path, put slash dollar version slash. Okay. Now at runtime, what you will do is when downloading a package, your downloader wants to accept a version number. If a version
Okay.
number is not provided, it wants to use version 1, V1, whatever nomenclature you decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this means that now we can publish new activities that want to use version 10 of the engine, and the whole process will work. Because at that time, it will look for engine slash V2 or V10 in your file system, and it'll say, I don't have it. It will come here, use engine URL, append version 10, version 2 there, and then download a fresh copy.
Okay, Manik.
Okay. So
Okay.
once an engine has been published, if your application is in production now, the engine cannot be modified, period. The engine wants
Exactly.
to stay static, right? If someone
Yeah.
has to put out a new engine, unless they want, someone else can guarantee backward compatibility of the engine that no existing user will break.
Yeah.
Then what you will do is you will change the existing version. Otherwise, someone will publish a new version and then update all affected assets to say engine version equal to V2. Okay, and then
Okay.
your code will automatically stop looking for the old version of the engine. You don't have to
Got it,
worry
Manik.
about cleanup just yet. We'll worry about that cleanup. We'll figure out how to deprecate old engines. But for the
Okay.
moment, you want to be able to support multiple versions, and this is how you will do it. So
Okay, Manik.
talk to Eric or whoever is uploading that. Ask them to put it in slash version 1.
Mhm.
Okay, so you will discard line number 13, and your line number 14 becomes the new engine URL.
Okay, Manik. Got it.
Make sense?
Yes, Manik. Perfect.
If they, so you understand that why this should, uh, what to do when someone says, no, we don't want to do this. If
Yes,
Arik
Manik.
says,
We,
yeah,
we
I
can
don't,
justify.
yeah, you can justify, you want to push back, you want to say that it has been already asked for. And if if
Okay.
Arik has a problem, he can talk to me. Anyone who has a
Sure, Manik.
problem with what I'm asking here can talk to me. If you guys disagree, you can tell me, we can figure out what's the disagreement, see if I can resolve it. But as long as you and I are in agreement, the primary objective is to drive towards that direction. Yes?
Yes, Manik. We agree
All
with
right.
the point.
So now we are future-proofing our application. We don't care when you update the engine as long as you follow a versioning scheme, we are okay.
Yeah. Got it, Manik.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So have this change made. Now what you can do is, if you want to stay backward compatible with the current logic, what you can do is, if the version is V1, then you can just remove the dollar version slash from the URL and use the remainder of the URL. Yeah. So we only
Okay.
have to worry about it when new version gets published, but until that time,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about it. But your code,
Yes.
your local file system always wants to use versioning regardless of what they're doing on that pf content, pef content prod dot blob, right?
Yeah.
And this way,
Yes.
and this way, in this way, you can also control the environment. For example, change that prod word in engine URL to delete that and put dollar $environment, dollar
Okay.
$env, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And now in your environments file, you can say something like engine tag, and it can say prod for production, STG for staging, and then you'll be able
Okay.
to use a specific DNS, and then your code doesn't have to worry about switching environments. Now, when you switch environment, your application will not only start looking for the new version, but it can also look for a different environment, experimental engine that we don't want to expose to our users.
Got it, Manik.
Make sense?
Yes, Manik.
All right. So get these changes into effect so that now our engine usage is future proof, and that way we can we don't have to worry about what to do when engine changes. We don't want anybody to notify us when the engine changes. They can change it on their own as long as they're publishing on the right location.
Okay. We'll do it, Manik.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So get that change done. So I'm showing you line number 14 as URL 2, but that just wants to be URL 1. Now this is one way for you to do this. Yeah. The other way for you
Okay.
to do this is to have engine URL as part of the environment configuration.
Okay.
And in your downloaded folder, you want to have engine slash prod slash v1 or engine slash staging slash v1, like that. And that way,
Okay.
a production engine can be separated from the
Staging engine.
staging engine, even if the URL is exactly the same, but your application
Okay.
is downloading different versions, right? In
Okay. Yeah.
environment changes will only happen on your development devices. We're not worried about end user,
Okay.
but at least we know that by changing environment, we are 100% using a separate environment rather than muddling the production.
Yeah.
Okay.
And completely different set of assets. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
I guess the next part would be by Elil or Elil, are you online?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's all about the progress of our Manik. We just have some bugs in backlog, which has to be fixed for the release. So other than that, all the major functionalities have been already now.
Okay. Excellent. Now, uh, based on our previous conversation, you all have shared that if this was ground day zero today, you would have preferred to code this in a native environment rather than React Native. Am I correct?
Yes.
Is that still the sentiment?
Uh, to be honest, Mike, actually the app has improved a lot now. I can say that confidently.
No. I believe I'm not judging the quality of the app anymore. I'm just saying, is your choice. If I was to say, guys, today is day zero and we have to develop this app, would you lean towards React Native or would you lean towards native apps? We can ask individually, yeah. I don't. What do you think? It doesn't
Uh,
have to be a team decision. It can be individual choice.
okay. So personally, I think I would stay with React Native because it's fairly simpler to code things. Now that we have
Hmm.
hands-on experience on it, it's fairly simple and intuitive and quicker, I guess, rather
Okay.
than native development. So if in case of native, I have no experience with Android. So as a single developer, I can code for iOS, but I cannot do for Android. So, but in this case, I can write it for both languages.
No, but now you're infringing upon the resourcing problem, right? Let's say you don't have resources, you only have one resource, then React Native is the right choice. I get it. But let's say resourcing is no longer the concern here. Let's say I have a pool of 20 developers, 10 iOS and 10 Android, and now you have a fresh day and you're saying, guys, okay, this is what I would like to do. Is that still React Native?
Mm, The way I would think is like if one person can do it as efficiently as a native, so why use so many developers unless other?
But okay, all right.
You
Listen,
get my point, right?
yeah, I'm not asking you about strategy. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
not asking you about strategy. I'm asking you about preference.
I think I'll stick with React Native.
Okay, that's a better answer. Yeah, every other time you focus on strategy too much. Uh, Anybody else has a preference of native?
I guess even I'll stay with React Native as Edel says.
Okay, Ram.
Uh, I'll stick with React Native, but I feel there are some problems actually. In my opinion, Mani, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you compare the React Native and what we developed in the native, actually, while for an example, there is updating in UI, or maybe what we have done the way in coding, I guess there is some lag actually in React Native. Only one thing. I'll
Hmm.
stick with React Native.
Well, performance will always be an issue with a non-native environment.
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
this is much simpler, and we
Okay.
have easy maintenance. Yeah. So yeah, I
Lamalakshmi,
Manik, I'll stick with React Native.
you'll stick with React Native. Uh, is there any other developer on the team, or is just one, two, three, four, four?
Actually,
Anyone who's not on the call?
Veena is on maternity leave.
Okay. All right. So then, if majority of the consensus is React Native, then we can stay with React Native. Now, what I would like to get to a point is that if you guys can find opportunities to improve your React Native skills, you should tell me what those opportunities are. Yeah, for example, tutorials and whatnot. But I would also advise you to make sure that you don't lose your knowledge on native development.
okay.
Makes sense? Because if at some point of time the performance of the app starts becoming an issue, right now, I don't know, because it's not in hands of a user. If it starts becoming an issue, it's going to come back to improve in performance. And then based on your skill set of React Native, you can only go so far. After which, and if more improvement is needed, at some point of time, somebody's going to give in and say, okay, let's try native. So at that point of time, it may not happen ever, but at that point of time, it is useful for all of you to be up to date with your native development skills. For example, iOS, are you on Objective-C? Are you on Swift? How good you are on Objective-C or Swift? On Android now, they're using Kotlin. Does the Android team know Kotlin at all? Can they, or what do they need to do? Things of such nature. So make sure that you are all keeping abreast of your technical skill set on these things, so you don't get outdated.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
Manik.
Okay. All right. So given your sentiment now, I will not push on the native thread anymore because there was a time when I was pushing the product team to agree to native engagement. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
What else?
I think that's all from our side.
All right then.
That's
Cool.
it for today. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you very much. Good update. Good luck.
Thanks, Mani.
Thank you, Manik.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.